Hey,
Hey,
I'm live. That worked out very well this time.
that did work out well. Alan, how are you, my friend?
I am hot.
Yeah, for those of you who did not know, Alan is relatively a sexy bitch to begin with, but unfortunately, late last night, his air conditioning decided, it's a holiday weekend. It's one of the hottest weekends of the year, so it's going to take a crap on him.
Yeah.
So, any luck with that last night or this morning, I should say?
No, I was gonna wait till we finish this before I tried to call my landlord because I didn't want the AC man coming in the middle of this, which would
Right.
happen. So I'm suffering for this right now, and
Yeah.
it's 85 in the house. We're supposed to get some showers and cool off to like 78 tonight.
Oh, good. That'll mean it'll be nice and muggy for you.
Yeah. I finally fell asleep about 7 o'clock, just as it was getting hot this morning. I
Uh,
should have, I should have probably just went to bed at 11 o'clock or whatever. But anyway,
yes. You want to tell our hundreds and hundreds and thousands of guests the special show that we have for them today.
well, what I want to do is jump in a tub of ice cream and lay there. But we are the House of Tortured Souls live. This is, if you haven't heard us before, I am whatever. This is John, your co-host or the host, whatever. We have a very special show today. This is the old CBS afternoon specials. This is a very special episode about teen rape,
Yeah.
and we're both teenagers, so we're both in danger. But anyway, we do have a special guest today who's going to be signing on in just a minute. Andy Collins, or Andrea Collins. She is I guess, scream queen. She is a actress. Let's say she is a up and coming actress in the horror genre who has decided to grace us with our presence today.
Yes,
Uh,
definitely looking
Even
forward
though
to
I'm all hot and sticky and just came out of the shower in this camp. But she's going to be joining us in just a minute. She's got a movie upcoming called The Crocodile. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Chronicles, about the Russian drug. It's a horror movie now, but it's about the Russian drug that basically is alive. It's some scary shit in real life, so hopefully the movie is going to be some scary shit too.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. The name, like you said, yeah, it kind of has me, but it definitely looks interesting.
I want to call it Crocodile Tears or Crocodile Rock, but it's Crocodile Chronicles or Crocodile or Crocodile. It's one of them Russian drugs. So, but anyway, why don't we go ahead? We got Andy waiting in the wings. Why don't we go ahead and buzz her in?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a shot right here, and
Add some grace and beauty to this show of.
Oh my God, I know we need it too.
Yeah, it's a total sausage fest in here. And today it's a hot sausage fest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, considering it's probably pushing 85, 90 degrees in your house alone.
It is 85 in my house a few minutes ago.
And we are most likely pantsless in your house right about now, I would assume.
I'm in my pajamas. I started to, but I'm in my pajamas. If she hasn't used Hangouts, it may take a second to do the old accept. And yes, you can use my microphone bullcrap.
Okay, let me see if we can't get her buzzed in over here. No, not yet.
Have you sent the invite?
I have. So we are patiently waiting. I'm sure she's probably walking down the hall to jump into the studio here.
Yeah, after you get the invite, it takes a minute because you have to. Well, first it has to ring and you have to answer. Then you have to agree to Google Hangouts terms of services, sell your soul to the devil, and all that stuff.
The almighty Google, yeah. So, hey, while I've got you, and before the lovely Andrea Collins joins us, why don't you fill the world in? And yes, I am going to slam another use the word competitor lightly. But I think with that little laugh of gesture, you automatically, I think you know where I'm
Oh,
headed.
I know who you're talking about.
Why don't you go ahead?
I was in a foul mood, but I mean, people who know me online know that I'm loudmouth and opinionated. I try not to use extremely offensive words, and I've been called a cuck even by my friends, and I'm like, that's cool.
Right.
You're my friend. I know it, and that's insult toward me. But yeah, I had retweeted something by Ron Perlman, who is kind of a progressive guy.
Correct.
Andrea, and basically, hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'll save my slam for afterwards. Now we'll get to the good stuff.
Andrea Collins, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Tortured Souls Live. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
A little warm today. Where are you buzzing us from?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
So you are
Nashville.
Okay. I actually used to.
I was in Las Vegas, but I moved back. I was in Las Vegas, but I moved back.
Didn't like the glitz and the lights and the glamour, huh?
No, or the heat.
Yeah,
I hear you there.
It gets a little warm out there. I was out there, I guess, about 17, 18 years ago for about a week.
Yeah.
I got sucked in bad. I mean, the light, the sounds, the bells, the whistles, everything. Yeah, it was a good thing that I had to leave, or else I would probably not even be alive today.
I was there 8 years ago for a weekend, and I was broke when I flew in for a job interview, and had to drive from Las Vegas to Lake Havasu, Arizona for a job interview. Was down to probably my last $200 in the bank. I'd been unemployed for 8 months. Not in Las Vegas at all.
Oh, you didn't win big then? Win you more money?
I had
What's wrong with you, Alan? Isn't it a guarantee that you always win big when you go to Vegas?
I won $10 and I lived there.
Well,
I smartly enough, I landed in the airport, got in my rental car that had been supplied by the job, drove to the 2 hours through the desert, came back to the airport and flew home. And it was sad because when I landed, oh, what shows are you going to? Everybody you bump into in the airport, every time you deal with someone. So what shows are you going to? What casinos are you going to hit? None.
Well, gambling in the airport, you could have.
Yeah, there were slot machines in the airport as I walked down. That was amazing to me.
Bathrooms.
yeah, that was the first thing that I noticed, and I was completely stumped and floored as soon as I saw that walking off the terminal, and there's slot machines in an airport, and it dawned on me, wow, this is real, and it was all downhill from there.
And then
my Las Vegas story,
smoking cannabis right when I leave.
My Las Vegas story was more a Lake Havasu story because I drove there. I was depressed because I was out of work. I was near broke. Drove to the hotel, and all I knew about Lake Havasu was Spring Break from MTV. So I get to my hotel, and I hear all these people screaming, and I'm like, oh, it's a bunch of drunk teens. I'm tired. I can't deal with this. So went to my hotel room, crashed. That night, I went out, and I was just wandering around the pool area, struck up a conversation. They were filming Piranha 3D at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The death scene that day, that's what I came into. And I was just so tired. And the guy I was talking to ended up, he was one of the ADs or the photography. I'm not sure what his actual title, but he was one of the assistant photographers. And he was like, won't you come out tomorrow? You're a cool enough dude. You can like get a job as an extra. And I was just so tired, and it was so hot. I'm just like, I can't do it. And I didn't get the job, so I ended up on the Alabama Gulf Coast, where it's just as hot but not as dry.
Exactly. We have humidity here.
I do remember that. I was outside of, where was I? Murfreesboro?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Okay. I lived out there for just under a year, and please, no offense to you at all, I couldn't wait to leave.
Really?
The Southern hospitality was nice, but the people did just something about it. It rubbed me the wrong way. Maybe it was just the group of people or where I was at, but
Right.
I was just on edge the entire time I was there.
Yeah, so it's a different kind of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, John, you do remember that we found out last week you do have to switch back and forth as people talk?
Yep.
Okay. Just breaking the fourth wall for a second.
Well, actually, it seems to be. I think with 3 we're good because everybody's flip flopping for me right now.
Okay. As long as we're flip flopping.
Yep.
So
we are.
Do you prefer Andy or Andrea?
Here lately I've been going by Andrea.
Andrea, okay.
I'm kind of going away from Andy.
I got Andy from Brian, I think.
Yeah, like everybody calls me Andy still, but there's a lot of people transitioning as well to Andrea. I think the more you get like older or more in your career, I tend to go towards my real name.
Gotcha.
Start to have that appreciation for it when you grow into it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And people look at you with more respect or legitimacy, Andrea, than Andy. So.
Well, why don't you fill our listeners in? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, now that I said Andrea, but I go by Andy Noir. That's what I've been acting under for, oh my. I'm trying to think. Longer than 10 years. 12 years? 13 years? We'll say 13 because I like the number 13.
13 is a lucky number.
There you go.
Exactly. So I started off with a horror movie called Legend of Crazy George, which was amazing. And it was amazing. It's one of my first movies to work with Debbie Rochon. You know about Scream Queen.
Of course.
Yeah. And I got to work with her again on a movie called The Deepening. But it wasn't until I started really hitting up the horror conventions, like going down around the conventions as like a spokesmodel for some directors. And that's how I got the name Andy Noir. That other directors and networking started picking me up. And from there on, I became a screen queen. All I really do is horror movies.
Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with horror movies.
No. It's my favorite genre. It always has been. So it was really nice. It's like I tell people, I never thought that all my heroes from growing up would it be in my cell phone right now. I could just dial up. And never thought it would ever happen.
Yeah, it's amazing. The horror community is a pretty welcoming place. I mean, obviously there are cliques in every large group of people, but you know that I've got to meet friends with people like John Dugan on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was the movie
I was
that.
just at his wedding.
Were you at his wedding?
I introduced him to his wife.
Oh,
wow.
I'm a horror matchmaker.
That's quite a title. I like that. That works. That's really cool.
John is a great guy. I love him to death.
Yes, he's like another father to me. Definitely. We've been in 2 movies now together.
Oh, is it 2?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. We've been in The Hospital together. And then Belly Timber, which is premiering on August 5th in Indiana, is coming out. And that's our latest one together. And I cannot wait to see it, honestly, because it's set in the 1820s. I've always wanted to see a period film. So poor John, he's in the now because he's telling the story to like his grandson. And you're acting out the story he's telling. But yeah, I can't wait for that one. That's really nice. And
what was the name again?
Belly Timber. It's supposed to be a slang word for when you're hungry.
We will be looking for that.
Because what it's about is cannibals. So.
John should be well equipped for that. I mean, you know, he started off as a cannibal in horror, so.
Yeah, but he's just telling our story in Belly Timber. He doesn't get to.
He doesn't actually get to eat anyone.
No, not this time. No.
Oh wow.
Well, we definitely wish you the best with that. I know I was looking into it a little bit yesterday, and I saw the movie poster for it, and definitely an intriguing image.
The brain.
I have not seen that. I've got to look for it now online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a nice silver platter of
It's
nice-
real because I'm actually a vegetarian and always have been. And so when we were shooting on the first day, there's a scene where me and my on-screen husband, instead of a wedding cake, it's like a brain. And they didn't tell me it was a real pig brain.
What?
Oh,
So, and that's what you see in that picture.
How
And
does that
so
slip your mind?
yeah, we're doing the whole wedding cake thing. You could think of, you're feeding your husband or your wife.
Right.
And I told Nate, I was like, please don't. Please be gentle. He just shoves it in my mouth. And if you watch the trailer, you get to see us, like it shows close-ups of our mouths eating it. It was the most disgusting thing. I never swallowed, but I had to chew. It tastes, and just the chewing, it was like metallic scrambled eggs.
well,
Oh,
pig
no.
brains are considered a delicacy in the South. You can literally buy canned pig brains.
Too. Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
every take we did, I had to spit it out, and I had somebody beside me to hand me a water bottle to gargle. But the next morning, when they took us out for breakfast, the cast and crew, me and Nate just couldn't even look at eggs. It was like, nope, no.
that has to be one of the worst foods for a vegetarian. Not only are you eating meat, but you're eating a brain.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Every animal in the world, right?
I had a discussion with someone not too long ago because, like I said, growing up in the South, you can buy canned pig brains, and brains and eggs are like a delicacy.
Yeah, that's what they did. They went to the butcher or somewhere and just and bought it right there like that and just kept it in the cooler. So yeah.
Yeah, we would take a can as a young adult. My father loved them, and eggs and the can of brains in it, and scramble them up together, and that would be a meal.
That's a horror movie in itself, you guys. It's so disgusting.
Andrea,
there's lots about growing up in Mississippi that's a horror movie.
Oh, I agree. I think if you grew up in the South, you're made for horror movies because where I'm at now is where I'm from, and it's a huge farm. So being a little kid, I got to see like hogs being slaughtered, of course, deer being field dressed, and all these things. So being in horror movies, it's hard to gross me out. It's really hard to gross me out.
I think that's me because I grew up, and my father was a trapper. He was a hunter-trapper when I was little, and he would trap raccoons, possums, some beaver if he got lucky, bobcats, and he would sell the hides, and he would sell the meat to the locals to eat. And he had to leave 1 foot on the animal so that they could tell it wasn't a dog. He couldn't sell it if he could. Yes, they had to leave 1 foot unskinned on the animal so the people he was selling to knew he wasn't selling a dog.
That's interesting. I've never heard that one.
Wow. It really is. Because raccoon was considered another delicacy. Possum was eaten, but it was more eaten by the really poor people who hunted and trapped. Yeah, so it's not like Beverly Hillbillies where possum was like a great treat. Possum was like the bottom of the food.
Possum, chitlins, rabbits.
Turtle.
Yep, turtle.
Squirrel brains. Squirrel brains were another big delicacy, and from my understanding, that's one of the ways I think mad cow disease gets into the human population, by people in Appalachia eating squirrel brains.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's all kinds of things that everybody eats down here that I'm surprised we're all still alive.
Well, guys,
I think
I'd rather eat a human.
I'm definitely glad to be a Yankee on this conversation. Trust me. No offense. Sorry, but I'm good up here.
No mountain oysters for you.
No.
I prefer not to eat.
What if it's squirted in your mouth?
Oh. Nope. Done. Gotta go.
I'm content with my store-bought food. I have no idea. I'm not hunting vermin.
So, what is your favorite horror movie then? Or your all-time #1 go-to favorite horror movie then?
Okay, and this is funny that being that John's like a dad to me because Texas Chainsaw has always been my number one.
Yeah.
Also, growing up here in the South, I grew up around slaughterhouses, and my house I grew up in looks just like that house in Austin.
Really?
So it seemed very real to me. Like this really did happen. And especially when I was little, my dad found out, and I wasn't supposed to watch horror movies when I was little.
Mhm.
And so I was having a slumber party, and my dad literally ran in the house with a running chainsaw to scare us.
Oh,
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I grew up. That was my favorite. And like I said, I've been in 2 movies with John. I was in 1 movie with Gunner. And so it was just really nice. It was amazing to say that about these guys. And cause,
That's incredible, honestly. For that to have been, one of your childhood favorites growing up, and then some odd years later, here you are making movies with the stars of your favorite movie.
exactly. I just wish I could have done something with Marilyn. So.
Oh yeah.
She was a very sweet woman. I did get to meet her a couple of times. Very nice lady.
Wow.
I fell in love with Marilyn as a child. And I mean, as a young male watching Texas Chainsaw, how could you not fall in love with her? She was so great.
She's so hot. Yes.
I got to meet her once, and I didn't get. I got her autograph through the mail years ago, and I met her once at a convention. She actually came and sat beside me, and she was so tired. And this was only a year or so before she passed away. And she was just so tired and so exhausted that I didn't want to bother other than just saying hello to her. And she came out with the guy who was helping her with the table, and she said, "I'm just so tired." And I so wanted to fanboy out, but it's just like, don't do it. She's exhausted. She's had a rough weekend. We were all on our way home. But everyone I know who's met her said she was just such a sweet person.
She was. Definitely. So, what is you guys' favorite horror movie?
I'm in line with you. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my all-time, not even my all-time favorite horror movie, but my all-time favorite movie, period.
Yeah.
I haven't fanboyed over anyone until the day I was able to have met Gunnar Hansen at a convention in Florida. It was the highlight of my convention careers. I was literally shaking. This mountain of a man comes walking down the hall.
Yeah.
He
and such the sweetest man. He loved his Waffle House. That's one thing I always remember about Gunnar.
That's such a. He just pops out of the door and hammer to the head, and it's just, it's so different than every other scene in a horror movie. There's no build up. There's no real open door. Boom, it's over. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
Well, that's what I tell people too. If you think about it, you never see blood in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's all about in your head. It's really not gory because your mind is taking you there.
Right.
And I think through horror making, that right there to me is horror movies. You don't need all that extra blood and gore. You want your audience to be wrapped up in your story. That's the way I feel about it.
There was just the one scene with Marilyn's fingers, the only blood I remember, where they poke her finger.
And he really did that. He really did. They really did do that.
Gunnar told me that story. He said, I was just so tired, so frustrating, and she kept moving, and I just stabbed her.
Well, it was so hot in that house. I mean, you're Austin, Texas, in the middle of summer. They had to close everything up to make it look like nighttime. Oh, I can only imagine how they felt. But that's what we do when we do independent movies.
And wearing the same clothes all that time. It's 85 here, and I'm going nuts. So I cannot imagine in that Texas heat.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize that when they look at movies like Texas Chainsaw or Halloween. They're actually independent movies. They didn't have these big budgets. And so they're huge cult following movies now. So I look at the movies I do and I'm like, okay, maybe one day, maybe something will go on with these. But we do. It's all about the actors and your cast and crew. It's all about blood, sweat, and tears, for real. You're going to have a lot of that. Sometimes you have other bodily fluids coming.
Never be on a Takashi Mike film, or you will get all kinds of body fluids.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the movies I've been on, you get all kinds of body fluids. Have John tell you about the hospital. Yeah, that one's been banned in a couple of countries. So that tells you anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got to fill us in now.
Personal ban list for a different reason, but
well, thank goodness mine's like a cameo in the very beginning. Like I'm the first girl, kind of, like Scream, how Drew Barrymore was. So I got to do that, which is good because I got to die pretty soon. Not to give any spoilers away, yes, I die. But the rest of the people I got to watch, or even John Cena and all, and basically it's a paranormal movie, sort of meets a rape and torture movie. Very interesting twist to it. There's so many different plots going on, but basically rape and torture.
Nice.
I don't know if I'd put it right up there with the Siberian film, but
Oh.
same. Yeah.
Really?
yeah, Serbian film is like a little bit better director.
But you would rate that up there with that kind of severity, though, in the film.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's along those lines.
I would say it's the PG version of it.
Okay.
When you're gonna rape and torture movies.
Gotcha.
It is rapey. I have seen it. It's pretty rapey.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us
Yeah,
about.
I'd probably watch
Oh, I'm sorry.
the film first. Or you can watch The Hospital for the first 15 minutes and then turn it off, because then you get to see me die and run around talking.
I will watch it again for the first 15 minutes.
Okay.
I will do that for you.
So tell us a bit
This
about.
little bald head comes on. I'm turning it off though.
Okay, I would too. That's all. I gotta say. You're gonna get me in
I won't ask
trouble.
you to talk. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to talk bad about him.
You're gonna get me in trouble because we're talking. We know. Yeah, you're gonna get me in trouble. You should hear me and Brian.
Yeah. Me and Brian have had some conversations.
Did Brian tell you I'm in one of his movies now?
Yes, he did. He said you had permission to talk about it a little bit too.
I know. I asked him actually. I said, "Can I talk about it?" He said, "Yeah, I just can't give the title out yet." And I was like, "Okay, all right."
I was
Well,
going to ask you the title, but never mind.
well, that's what I was wondering if I could say it. But I think it's. He texted me last night and said it's about to come out. So by this summer, it should be hitting Netflix. I guess then we could like, here's the title. But it's very much a great movie for Halloween. It's set at Halloween, and I love that. I love any movie like that, and I was just really happy because I'm very proud of it. Being it's at the end of the movie, but it's almost like its own identity.
Oh.
You definitely could set it up for a part 2. And it was so much fun to working with such great people. Working with your best friends is amazing. But looking at the quality, I was just blown away. So many great people on it. The color on it, the dialogue, everything. It's definitely a must-see. Not just for me, but definitely see it. No, it's really, I really like the storyline. I think for people who really love Halloween movies, or for me, I love like home invasion movies.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you an idea. And yeah, and there's definitely a lot of actors in there you'll recognize. Yeah.
I may know the movie you're talking about, but I don't want to give away the name if it can't be released.
Does it have anybody from Beyond the Gates in it?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, you know the movie.
Yeah. Once it's closer to release, I'll try to get Brian on if he's not still busy hugging his baby and like crying like a girl.
I'm an auntie. I got pictures the night that Rocky was born. I'm like, oh my god, I'm an aunt. like, I can't wait to get him listening to Slayer pretty soon.
There you go.
Oh, trust me, I bought Nirvana onesie for him and everything. I was like, I'm going to get your rock stuff. I got to find more rock stuff.
You're going to have him listen to Slayer, and Brian's going to have him watching old 80s horrible martial arts movies with...
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, he is. Watch out. He's going to be a Van Damme, like, fan before he's even won.
Well, knock on wood, I'm going to be heading to the Slayer show when they come through Baltimore in the end of the month. So at their merch table, if I happen to see any little onesies for you, I'll definitely be sure to pick one up and send it out to you.
Or one of the Behemoth ones. That's going to be a great tour.
Oh, yeah. I'm knock on wood. I will be there, and we'll hopefully be snagging a couple interviews with some of the guys.
Yay, yes.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So... and you've also in another upcoming film, which I know the title is already out there. Did we already talk about? No, I think me and John talked about this before the show. Crocodile Chronicles, or Crocodile, however that is pronounced.
Right.
I want to go into Crocodile Rock every time I'm talking about it, and I started singing Elton.
Sorry, I do too. Well, but I believe it, like, trust me, every one of us calls it crocodile, but I think it is crocodile because it's a new drug. It really is a real drug out there, taking over like past heroin, and it's pretty much killing. It comes from Eastern Europe, I believe. Everybody was saying like Russia.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. It pretty much is. It's like you can overdose immediately the first time you do it. So Cameron Scott is the director and writer, and he was very fascinated by this. And I love that it's an anthology. I have this thing, I've always loved anthologies, like Creep Show or, Tales from the Dark. I love that. So that kind of drew me to it from the very get-go. So each of the stories, the drug is what combines it together. And then, so mine is Needle to the Grave. So, and it really hits home for me because I'm not afraid to say it because I try to be a role model for people. But I used to be a junkie, a drug addict.
Yeah.
When I was in Los Angeles in 2004. And I got myself clean by myself. I knew it's time, you got to have that will that you want to live and quit living like that. And so it really hit home when he gave me the script. And I was like, I really want to do this. And my character definitely is, can I say fuck?
Say it loud and say it proud.
Okay. It's a mind fuck. That's the only way I can really describe her, because you don't know if it's her ex-boyfriend's, if it's his demons, like from doing the drug, is that's why he sees her, or is it his guilt, or am I really a ghost? Like, there's so much going on in that scene that's really gonna just have the audience with their own conclusions as to what I am. But yeah, I am a junkie in it. So, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like one of them. It takes place in Russia, and then one of them's like a dirty cop, and then I love that Robert Lasora is in it again. Like, I've worked with him before in Nightblade, and I'm just always excited because I was a big Nip Tuck fan. So when I was like, yay! When the first day I met him on the other set, that's the only thing I wanted to talk to him about. I was like, okay, let's talk about Nip Tuck. Just like a typical woman. I know.
We interviewed him, I believe, last year, and he is a very cool, very deep person.
Oh man,
I mean, he
cool cat.
So passionate about everything he does. He just commands your respect and your authority, and just a man of few words. But when he does, you just listen. He's such a great man. He really is. Hoping to actually get him for
he's
our
intimidating.
Black Friday.
What?
But he's not really scary. When you talk to him, you said, you feel that presence, but he doesn't feel like he's ever threatening or maybe what do you call it, condescending to you. He feels like he's really drawing you into the conversation with him.
Yeah, like me and him, I think we kind of bonded over tattoos. and things like that. But of course, my nip tuck, I was like, ah. But yeah, definitely the tattoos. We're talking and getting along and just talking about different things like that. But yeah, it's really weird because when I was living in Vegas a couple months ago, I just got home and I'm walking through, and one of my roommates is watching The Human Centipede 3.
Yeah.
And it's one of them, a graphic scene with him in it. And I was just taken off guard. It's really weird after you work with somebody and you meet them or whatever. And I see him doing this one act. And I was like,
I know what that was.
Yeah.
Like, no. But that right there is like the things we do as actors.
Well, hey, congratulations on your sobriety, by the way. That's quite a feat. No, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have your own production company now too, correct?
I do. We have a production company, but we've kind of put it on hold for right now. Because Goldie is going more into like her photography and that kind of venture, where I was like kind of steering away and going back into my acting ventures. We're still together and we still want to do a lot of projects. And there's a lot of projects we still have on the table, like older things we want to get back to, like Holy Ground and some other little things that we were doing. But yeah, but I mean, it's in place. We're still, we're close girlfriends and all. We used to live together even. But yeah, right now we're just kind of doing our own thing in that sense of art. Like she really wants to focus on that, and I'm still like focusing on my acting. Though I still like, I really want to branch out into directing. I do.
Wow.
My big thing, my dream, and it's kind of weird for a screen queen, I guess, is to direct documentary. So yeah,
I tell you
I love documentaries.
Now, they are on such a rise too. More and more people I'm finding nowadays are loving and following and talking more and more about them. So I think that'd be a great thing to do. I really do.
I'm a huge true crime freak. I probably can tell you anything about every serial killer in the world. I mean, the ones that people don't even are like, that was a serial killer back, I'm like, yes, and here's his background. This is how many people he killed. This is the name. Like, people think I'm a freak, but I was like, I love it. I love true crime. I would love to get into
reading about serial killers as a kid, so I was like that weirdo who knew all the serial killers, and of course everyone thought was going to grow up to be one, but unfortunately your dreams don't always come true, I guess.
Always good to have a goal, though.
I get to get my fantasies out at my day job. So, because I work in organ and tissue banking, so if you're an organ donor, you come to me.
I work at a hospital, so we occasionally cross paths with the harvesting people. Yeah.
So yeah,
just last week. Yeah.
Or I get to play one on TV, I guess you'd say. I like playing serial killers, things like that.
We try to keep people from going to you officially, but sometimes,
Yeah. I know that's one of the misconceptions too, not to steer away from horror, but being in the donor services, we're not trying to kill you. They're going to try to save you. Trust me. It's not like that. We're not vultures. I like people to know. So it is a misconception.
Yeah, y'all guys get a bad rap in horror movies. Our organ harvesters it seems like there's so many movies about organ harvesting. Yeah. And,
I mean, you really think like people meet me and they're
kidneys.
like, yeah, but people meet me or it's like somebody, I start dating somebody, they're always like, so am I going to wake up in a bathtub full of ice? Because I know for a fact that you to do it. And I was like, no. I was like, no. But there is a documentary out there. I think HBO did it about in these certain countries because you can sell a kidney and live.
Yeah.
But some of these people are doing that to make money. But the thing that they don't understand is you got to do blood type, diseases, all your serologies. But it was a very interesting documentary. And so again, that's kind of I'd like to go into that. It's a horror. Yeah, it could be a horror movie. Definitely body snatchers. I always tell people, am I Dr. Frankenstein or am I just a body snatcher?
See, I'm curious now if I could go on Mexican eBay and find like a liver.
Oh, I'm sure. One thing in the documentary was one guy sold his kidney to someone on Craigslist.
Wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think he got $30,000. Yeah. So I was like, whoa. I was like, well, that's interesting.
That actually sounds good right now. I could use 30 thou.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Right?
Wonder what I could
And
get.
So my, I kept thinking about it.
supposedly you
Do
can
it
get
like,
like 35K for a testicle. So I could donate my way into a really nice car.
right? I could put towards making my own movie. So yeah.
Like, yo, I got a convertible, but I ain't got no balls, ladies.
They're like, that's why you're driving a convertible, sweetheart. Trying to make up for something.
I gotta
I
ask.
had a.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh,
No. Mine was going to be bad, so go ahead.
I was scrolling through some of your images of your modeling, and there's one that I kept coming back to, and I think there's like 2 or 3 different versions of it. I don't remember if it was black and white. You primarily looked like something out of a doom death metal band. White.
Oh, the corpse paint pictures. Yeah.
Incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. I kept coming back to that image.
It was always my dream to do a whole corpse paint series because I really like black metal. If anybody doesn't know what black metal is, it's like from Norway or kind of bohemian, you know, Polish and all. And I've always been really fascinated by it. So, and I love that the corpse paint is part of their Viking history. It actually is. It's kind of like war paint.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how cool would it be to have a girl naked, and some of them are wearing, it's a chainmail G-string bikini, and just put it all on and all. So yeah, that was a dream of mine. I got to do it for my birthday 2 years ago. So yeah, the photographer here, and then a friend of mine who's a special effects makeup artist, he went with me because he was like, if you're doing it right. I was like, okay. Yeah, and it was actually the photographer who actually put like the crown of thorns on me and things like that we added to it, which I think it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah, good shots. Definitely, like I said, definitely kept me coming back to them. Of all the images that you had,
They're my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really cool.
When I do a horror convention, those sell out, and the ones, if you saw the black and white one of me with the bunny mask.
Yes, I was going to ask actually if that was just a staged photo shoot or if that was actually from a production.
You want to hear, this is the funniest story, and I sell the most out of those, especially like artsy people. I was at my friend's house, and we were about to go out, and she had got it in because she's a performance artist, and I've always wanted one. So I asked her, I was like, can I put it on? And so we put it on, and I was like, well, take a picture of me. And so that's against her wall, just with her mask on with a cell phone.
Really?
Nice.
All it was.
Oh,
The only touch up is that we made the filter like black and white. That's it. That was the only touch up. So you're literally people with a cell phone picture of me.
No, that came out.
There is just, I haven't seen the pictures, but there is just something about a woman in chainmail and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know what it is, but there's something about that is just.
And is it ironic that I didn't buy it for the photo shoot? I had owned it forever. Just because that's my style. I saw it one time and I was like, I want that so bad, even though that's one chain going up your butt. But I was like, that's awesome. I was like,
I actually have a chainmail. I have a chainmail bikini that I bought for a photo shoot when I was doing a little photography, and the girl kind of, I hate saying flaked out because she did end up having reasons. It pissed me off at the time, but later on it was like, okay, yeah, you really were sick, you know, throwing up all day, and there was a reason, so I can't really be mad at you. Right. Even though when I drove an hour and waited at the meeting spot and were sick, yeah, I was kind of pissed that day.
Well, Alan, that's because you were Alan was wearing it at the time.
Hulu, John? Hi.
Yeah, I think that's one of the bad things too. I tell like everybody who's a model or an actor, if there is some reason why you can't make it, especially in the indie world, because sometimes we're not paid or whatnot,
Yeah.
at least let someone know, at least a day in advance or a couple hours in advance, because like you said, like, you know, some people go out of their time or take time off to do things.
Yeah, that was one of the frustrating things about photography, especially when you're not a real professional. If you're semi-amateur, you're working with a lot of semi-amateur models and, you know, the lower level of professional. So a lot of times there's no money changing hands whatsoever. And if you drive somewhere, and I've done that, I've driven like 45 minutes, sat at a state park waiting, no reply to, you know, you're sitting there sending emails on your phone, no replies. That's beyond frustrating. And yeah, and I know there's some people, well, I'm not getting paid for it, so why do I go out of my way? Because that's that step into becoming a professional. You have to make a commitment, you stand to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's 90 degrees and I'm here, and I'd much rather be like with my head stuck under a Slurpee machine somewhere right now. No offense, but yeah, it's hot in her.
So anybody out there that's kind of making their impression that you would like to try to work with nowadays?
Oh gosh, that's always a good question here. Well, as far as like directors, James Wan.
I'm sorry.
I'm a huge like James Wan because I love his way of doing movies, like The Conjuring, Dead Silence. Yeah. Not necessarily the Fast and the Furious movie, but I like the way he does his movies. I've always been a big fan because, again, if you think, he did Saw 1, which is the most non-goriest.
Mm-hmm.
I like he sets it up by using music, the atmosphere, because right when you think the scare is going to happen, it doesn't. And out of nowhere, here comes the scare. And I love that. Again, I'm big about telling a story and then having just to cut up somebody to get your scare out of someone.
Right.
That's the way I am. Like, I guess I'm old school. I love Universal Monsters. I love, you know.
Oh, I do too. Been watching them all weekend.
I mean, I have a huge Bela Lugosi portrait tattooed on my back. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. With The Conjuring, it was that whole atmosphere, the entire film, that something is wrong here, something is off. It got the R rating, and they were basically told there's nothing you can cut that will make this a PG because there's not this one thing. It's just this entire
entity, like
dread.
Yeah, and I love that. So I would love to work with him as a director, but like a modern day director, of course. As far as any other actors or actresses, can I work with Tom Hardy? For selfish reasons.
Yes, I know a lot of ladies that would love to work with him.
He could do the Bane for me the whole time. It's okay.
You know, he actually did a movie. I just watched it on Netflix about a month ago, and the name of it is escaping me. But it was based on the real life of a Irish prisoner.
Bronson.
Thank you.
I love him in Bronson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the ladies, you do get to see him naked. Just to let you know.
Yeah, there were some parts that I hadn't forgotten. Those were them. Yeah.
Just letting the audience know. That's a very, very good movie, though. His performance blew.
Yeah, no, he's a brilliant actor. He really is. I'll give him credit with that. I was in the theaters. I had gone to see, what was it, Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Okay, and I had no idea. Halfway through the movie, I pulled my phone out, and I'm like, who is this guy starring as Bane? And I looked up the picture, and I was like, oh my God, you got to be shitting me.
Yeah.
Not just gains weight and loses weight, kind of Christian Bale does. I'm like, these guys are insane.
Yeah.
Can I have your trainers? I mean, wow.
He's like Christian Bale, only I think honestly he's maybe a better actor than Bale. And I love Christian Bale's Batman.
I do too. I mean, he's my Patrick Bateman, but I have to agree. That's why I would actually love to see Tom Hardy in some horror movies. I mean,
oh yeah,
God, I think he would be good. Can you see him as a psycho?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
Have you seen Taboo? Taboo, the
I loved it. I binge watched all the way through it. Yeah, I loved it. I thought he was amazing in it. So,
he's such a chameleon. I mean, there's no way I would have believed, like you said, that this is the same guy who did Bane and Mad Max.
Right.
Just
and then,
so
but he got to start doing something like Wuthering Heights. He can do it all. That's why I would love to see him in a horror movie. That would be good. Yeah.
Anybody on the independent scene on the rise whose work you really like and admire that's out nowadays?
Who on the independent scene that I really admire? And there's so many people. Like, I feel bad to say because I have so many friends, of course, and people I've worked with.
Right.
You know, that's on the rise. Like Brian, of course, Quayne.
Yeah.
You know, good friend. He's always got something going on. I believe that he's doing a lot of work that's taking it outside the indie box. It looks a little bit more, I hate to say it, polished. I'm not down in any of my indie homies because anybody who goes out there and can make a movie and puts it out there, props, because that's doing the damn thing. You're living your dream.
Yeah.
I am all about that. Big props. I don't want to put anybody down and say that. You can go out there nowadays, kids, get you a GoPro, go get you a handheld, and with a couple thousand and make you a movie. That's what I tell people.
Yes, you can.
Well, you had mentioned doing the convention circuit. Will we be seeing you sitting behind any tables anytime soon, you think?
Yeah. I know. I missed out on Indianapolis, Days of the Dead Indianapolis this weekend. It's the first time I've missed that convention since it's almost started. I started going in 2012.
Wow.
So it was a heartbreaker. So my roommates put Days of the Dead on. My roommates I had in Vegas, Mr. Bill Philfoot, amazing guy. Thank you for bringing us Days of the Dead. If he's watching, or anybody, and his amazing wife.
I've met Bill a few times.
Yeah, and they're just amazing people, him and his wife. But so I will definitely be in Louisville, Kentucky, at the beginning of September for Days of the Dead.
Oh,
this will be the second year having it there. I
didn't know they were in Louisville.
We did our first one last year, and it was amazing. The turnout was, I've never seen something like that in the South. It was great. So they're doing part 2, you could say. And then I usually do all the Days of the Dead. So we have Atlanta, Days of the Dead in February. And then also we have Days of the Dead Chicago in November. And then we're adding in May, I think it was May they said, Days of the Dead in South or North Carolina. I think
Charlotte, North Carolina, I believe.
Yeah, because they're good friends with the Mad Monster guys and all, so kind of intertwining a lot of things right now, I think.
Nice. I used to go to Atlanta, and I haven't in the last couple of years because I've been other places and money, but I'm going to try to get back there next year. Yes. Bill probably doesn't know or recognize me, but I met him a couple times, been around him at the shows. The first time I met Bill, and I had no idea who he was, I was at a convention in Baltimore, and I ended up on a super shuttle back to the airport with, it was Ken Forey, William Forsythe, and Bill Mosley, and Bill Philpott. Bill was when he got in the car, and then I thought, oh, this is these guys' agents. So I got to ride all the way back from
manager, yeah.
I got to ride all the way from the University of Maryland back to Ronald Reagan Airport listening to them talk horror. And it was so amazing. And we picked up some poor little old lady in Georgetown, and she got on and we were talking about killing people. And that's all we're talking about. I was like, yeah, and I slashed this guy and I cut him up and I stabbed him, and just like staring around. And even our driver for like the first 15 minutes was like wide-eyed. And then he was like, you make movies. You make movies? I said, oh, yeah, man, we're actors. Goes, oh, thank God. And
It is weird. I think when all of us get together and we go out to eat or we just go do anything, and either people will get recognized or people overhear what we're talking about, and
Yeah.
I think it really freaks some people out, you know. But yeah, it is very interesting. We are interesting
Understandable.
characters.
I would hate to walk in on a conversation between those guys and not know who they are. It's it would definitely be a shocker.
It definitely, yeah. Oh yeah. All right. He's like,
You throw Kane Hodder in.
So what do you?
I love Kane. I love Kane Hodder to death, and he tries to beat the shit out of me every time I'm around him.
He does have a good grip. He does.
He does, and he has a good punch when he walks up behind you and punches you in the back.
Oh, I'm sure. And he definitely loves his tequila. That's my tequila buddy. That's who I do shots with.
Ah, I know the way to his heart now.
Yeah, good tequila. Really good tequila. That's the way to his heart.
It was in Atlanta. He walked up behind me, and we had been talking, and over to his table because I work with a charity that he was involved with, and he called me over to the table and got a picture with me and was like messing with me. And I walked off and I walked up to Sid Haig's table, and I was standing there watching some interaction with Sid, and I feel these two in my back, and then I kind of, ow, and turn, and Kane walks by snickering at me.
That sounds like definitely.
Yes, it's dangerous being his friend.
So what's the future got for you? What's next?
What is next? Well, of course, the Crocodile Chronicles. We got to be filming that. Hopefully, I think they were saying August, but I think Cameron's going to tackle it, of course, as one story at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Because each one of them is different in the anthology. So I'm not sure if mine's being filmed in, but that will be on the horizon this year, definitely. And then, of course, the movie that we're talking about, Brian's movie, it should be coming out this summer, and that's going to be awesome. I'm really proud of that one. My part is small, but it's very meaningful, and I love, and I know my friends are going to be watching it. It crops out to Netflix and everything out there that nowadays makes it easier for us to watch movies,
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie. Of all my movies, I would actually be like, tell my parents, hey, you should watch this.
Nice.
Because all my other movies, I do not. Don't look at the fighters. I do things that Andrea does in them. But this is definitely one I'm really excited about. Definitely. And
well, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely excited for Belly Timber to finally come out this summer. And I think we're also going to premiere it at the Louisville Days of the Dead. So I'll
nice.
do a panel for it and whatnot, and have my Indiana family all together. And then there's a couple of other things coming out, I think, in the new year. There's something that might happen down in Florida to do with witches.
Nice.
And then also, I know I'm going to be working with Brian again, and it's a funny concept. I was like, oh, great. I'm going to be like the shit queen, or the queen of shit.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about then, too.
Literally toilet humor. Ask him about that one. That would be interesting.
Demons?
Yeah, right?
Shit demons? Yeah.
I was just like, can I be the queen of shit then? Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. But that's all
we have talked about that movie. I wasn't sure where he was on the process.
You know about that one then. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So these are the things on the horizon. So yeah. And a little bit of modeling here and there. So it'll be a lot of some horror related modeling again coming out and things. Yeah, I'm bringing back probably, like, a lot of people think I look like Morticia Adams a lot.
I see you could.
Yeah, so I think a lot more of that's gonna be coming out soon, like some modeling-esque of Morticia, like everybody likes. So we'll see. I mean, it seems like I do more modeling than I do acting almost, if you noticed. But I want to, like, I'm like, just put me in the acting. I want to get away from being just like So yeah, so we'll, there's some things in the works.
It'll work. Like I said, you've got a good year coming up, so that's a great thing.
Yeah, so it's always, something always comes up, and if anybody out there wants to work with me, definitely get a hold of these guys or Andy Noir. And yeah, I'm always taking requests in or read people's scripts. I don't care. Again, if you have $1,000 in your pocket or you have 100,000 in your pocket, I'll read anybody's material. Yeah.
Well, when you decide to make that first documentary, I think it should probably be on horror podcasts in modern society. Just putting it out there for an idea.
Of course. You guys are awesome.
Well, we definitely appreciate it.
I have Spocket.
Hey, it might buy me a pack of crackers. It's catering.
I have a piece of gum.
Everything.
And combined with what I have isn't going to get much more. So, sorry, that's where we're at. Well, we definitely appreciate you taking the time out of the holiday weekend. We do wish you a happy 4th of July, by the way.
Hi, guys. Yeah. Shoot some fireworks.
You got any big plans? Any big plans for the 4th for yourself?
No, not really. I want to spend it with family. And I actually want to get some fireworks. I do. I haven't had fireworks really since I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I was even asking somebody the other day in my dance classes yesterday. I was like, most fun about fireworks. I was like, well, how much are fireworks going? Because I haven't bought it. And when they told me that even bottle rockets can be like $20 a pack, and I was like, whoa! I remember going buying rockets for $1. I was like, what? Maybe I
know.
won't.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's like being in Vegas. My money's gonna go blow up, and what do I have to show for it? It's just like when I lived there.
Yeah, I used to be like a kid in a candy store when it came to fireworks, but I'll tell you what, once I had to go out and buy them on my own when I was of age, completely different story. It is expensive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
well,
so yeah, it's very low key, nothing big. I mean, it's on a Tuesday, which is kind of a bummer,
Yeah.
It gives me a long weekend off, which I was celebrating until my air conditioning goes off, and my landlord's going to love it when I call him in a few minutes.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to love you.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea, again, we definitely thank you for your time. We wish you all the best. Please stay in touch with us.
I will.
Anytime you want to talk, you've got our number. Guess that about wraps it up. House of Tortured Souls Live with Andrea Collins. We definitely thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Tell Brian I said hey.
Oh, I will. I'll text him tonight.
All right.